All right, so here we are. This is, I don't know, this part two, part three, or something like that. Um, I said I would put this thing together. I had a couple comments talking about, you know, just how do you do certain things? Like how do you mount an engine into a fifth scale? How do you hook up your linkages? How do you hook up your receiver with your kill starts? I had a couple comments, man. So we're gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna take it step by step, man. That way I can break this thing down. You can watch whichever video you want. But I'm just gonna break it down in a few videos, while I'm having fun building this thing. So the last video we how to mount the engine into the 5. And like I said, it's gonna be different for every fifth scale. Right now this one's just about a 5. So as we grow a little bit more, maybe I'll get a, I'll change the engine out in my roving, or we'll do something else along those lines. But for now, we're talking about the 5. So we mounted the engine in the 5. Now this video is going to be about the linkages. Your throttle linkage to the carburetor and the steering linkage going to the, your whole bell crank and everything for your steering. How to set that up, how to zero that out, how to, just make it tight. How to set up my brakes. All that's going to be part of it. Right now, this stuff is just sitting up here. So it's just a matter of, putting it all together, making a little video for you guys, man. All right. So, we got the carburetor and we got the throttle linkage. So let's break these out so we can get started. All right. There we go. All right, so we got the velocity stack on there, right? So let's open this up, this kit up. There's a little ball and nut that we need to put on this linkage for the carburetor. I don't know why I didn't think about it first. It probably would have been easier to put it on while the carb was off of the engine, but I'm not taking this back apart. We're gonna make it happen. So let's get to it. Let's open this up. All right, so here's your reed case linkage. Remember, reed case linkage for the reed case engine. Here's your, that's what we need to take off of this thing. So you just slide this little coupler back, and this pops out. All right, so a little ball we got to install on the carburetor linkage. All right, it installs with this nut and this little lock washer on here. And I'm gonna put a little bit of blue Loctite right on that end. All right, so I got this thing on here. Let's see if I can get my. So I got this thing on here, right there, with the nut, a little bit in the lock washer, and a little bit of blue Loctite on there. And you crank that nut down. Like I said, that is a. Let's see what we use here. 5mm wrench on that thing. Don't crank it down too tight because that thing will break. It'll snap. I snapped one on my 5. I actually ended up going back to my stock linkage. Just because. Alright, so we got all the linkages is up there. You know how to do all this portion of it, right? It's all pretty much the same. You got your brake, front and rear brake linkage. Just loose. It's just hand tight right now. Just got the nuts on the back, my little stop nuts. They're just sitting there. The throttle servo is just chilling at the moment. Ain't doing nothing, ain't attaching nothing. All right, now here's a little trick I like to do with this to get the new linkage fairly close, right? So I took off the attachment that where it mounts to the arm, and the spring is here also, right? So you want this shouldn't change much. So I'm gonna get, with the one we took off the back side, the collar we took off the back side, I'm gonna slide this on first to kind of line it up with that one, right? So let's turn them over, get them close, and then we'll just slide on the old linkage on the old collar on the new linkage. to get it kind of close. And I know it's not gonna be perfect, but it'll get us close. At least line them up. At least we'll have a starting point, you know what I mean? That on there like that. We can now slide the spring on like such. All right. Now this has to go on the car. Clamp on the carburetor lever, and then we'll slide this into the throttle servo horn. And we should be fairly close. All right. Slide that in there. Turn that back around, and then we'll hook. Let's put this back. Let's take this other collar off of here now. And we'll put it onto the new collar just to stop that the new rod, just to stop it from going back and forth, really. I mean, everything's gonna be loose for now. You know, I just want to get everything situated on here, and then once I get everything situated where it needs to be, we'll zero out the servos, and we'll do one at a time. We're just gonna work on the throttle first. We'll zero out the servo, put the horn over top of here, and put the hole screw in there. All right. Let's see if I can get y'all a little closer. All right. So as you can see, there's before I put the camera down, there's a little slot in there. So once you slide that black collar back, you'll see a hole, and that'll line up right over top of that ball down there, and then the collar will spring back over top of it. All right. Hold on. All right. There we go. Got that on there, nice and tight, spring. Like I said, we're gonna leave the nut and washer loose right now. Eventually we'll come back and we'll tighten that up on there also. Probably put a little bit of Loctite on that also, just to, you know, jam that on there. And you just wanna shape your linkage the way it's supposed to be shaped. Your Allen screw should be facing up, all right? And now we got everything looking like it's pretty decent. Everything's loose. Still, nothing's hooked up still. Everything's still loose. All right. Spring is loose. All that's loose. The collar's loose. All right. So let's get the radio. Turn the radio on and zero out this throttle servo, and I guess we'll zero out the steering servo in the meantime. They'll both be on, but let's go ahead and grab 4 p.m. babe. T4 p.m. That's what we're going with for this one. All right. Let's turn this on. All right, that's on. Set this off to the side for now. Now, I got a bunch of wires right here, but just so you know, when you're dealing with your receivers, it's 1 to turn, 2 to burn. So stick the steering servo on number 1 and the throttle servo on number 2. And then your battery on the should be a battery section for it, and then on auxiliary 3 will be your kill switch. But back to the linkage. All right, so let's turn this on. All right, that's my kill switch. It means everything's good to go. Green light, good to go. All right, so let's grab just the center of the. Just gonna center that, you know, it's done, right? Everything is at 0 right now. All right, so right now we've now centered that throttle servo. So let's drop the horn on there. All right, that's on there, right? Everything looks good, nice. Everything's still loose, all right? Brake still loose, all that good stuff, right? And it's pretty close to where I like them at, but we're going to adjust this next. I like to have as little throw as possible on my brakes, and then I can adjust the bias from there. But let's get the screw in the servo. All right, so we got the screw in now, and as you notice, when I hit the throttle, it's pulling the brakes. So we need to go in and change that next. All right. So let's go into the remote. All right. So press over. Go down to. Oh, wrong bad. Go down to. Keep pressing the wrong button. Reverse. All right. And steering, I don't know yet, but we want to deal with the throttle. All right. So we reverse that. The throttle. Okay. So let's get out of this. Go back. Let's see how we did it. See how it goes now. How we want it. That's how we want it right there. Like I said, we'll worry about the throw in a minute, but that's perfect right there, how we want it. All right. Now, this linkage here is pretty, I think that's pretty good at where it needs to be at. So I'm gonna bring this collar down and this spring, this collar here, tight to this horn. All right. So let's go ahead and, like I said, now I got this linkage the way I want it. That's good right there. I'm gonna slide this collar tight to the horn, and that'll be our starting point. Like I said, you want the Allen screws up. Makes it easier to tune later on. Alright, and this front collar, I wanted to put just a little bit of tension on that spring, at least to start. And the tension on that spring is what zeroes up here, keeps the, adjust this. There we go. So tension on this spring is what pushes that front lever to the closed position on the carburetor. So you want just a little bit of tension on that just to keep that pressure on closed on that carburetor. So to me right now, this is done. The throttle linkage is done. So let's move over to the brake linkage. Now, as you can see, there's a little bit of play here, right? Now some people might like this. There's a little bit of play here. Now, some people might like this, right? I don't. I want this to be almost resting right on that linkage, so the minute I hit that brake, it stops this truck. Also, it makes it as less pull for endpoint on the servo horn, so it only have to go this far to brake as opposed to going that far to brake. If that makes any sense. So everybody sets theirs up differently. It's just me. That's how I like to set mine up. So what you do for this, you just turn the knobs. All right. And like I said, we're just going for a starting point. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put tires on this thing and actually drag it. That way I know where exactly I want it at. So let's get to this one. So tighten these two jam nuts up. You just hold the adjustment screw and tighten this up. That's one. Just a rear brake. Done. Jammed it on the front brake. So that's it right there. And that's your throttle linkage and your brake linkage. We gotta tighten up that nut back there, right? All right. We got the linkage on. Coming through. Throttles all, linkages all together. Got to jam this on there. Like I said, we might have to adjust this later once I put the wheels on and give it the drag brake test. But that's all the brake linkage on there. Like I said, not much play. I don't like much play, so it means it won't be that much pull. Alright, it's time for the steering servo now, right? So let's go ahead and pull the servo horn off. Alright, we're still centered. I haven't touched anything. So the servo horn is still in neutral position. Alright, so here is the linkage for the steering, right? So let's center these wheels, get them close to where they need to be. They ain't gotta be perfect, just get them close. Alright, and we'll go ahead and put the linkage on the horn. Alright, so the screw's going off from underneath. Alright, so slide that screw through, and I think we need to be on the inner hole of this. Alright, so we'll just get this started. Alright, then we'll throw a nut right on top of here. Alright, so we got the nut started. Hold the Allen. Now, let's fold this back over so it's in the right position. You see, we want our wheels centered for the most part, get it close, and we'll see where this thing fits on here. Alright, so in the position where we're at right now, which is pretty much at a 90-degree angle on it, on the servo horn, my wheels are a little off. Looks like it's angled to the left a little bit. No problem. You're not gonna get this thing perfect on, just trying to fit on this horn. We got a sub trim that will adjust to get us in the realm of where we need to be at, right? On both the, if we have to, on the throttle and on the steering. So we got that in there now. Let's go ahead and get this all tightened up, the servo horn tightened up, and we'll start working on that sub trim. All right. So if I turn to the right, it goes to the left. If I turn to the left, it goes to the right. So once again, let's change the reverse on here. Reverse, steering, reverse, back out, out. All right, so we should be good now. To the right, left, left. All right. So we got it there now, right? So we're pretty close. Like I said, I really need to put the wheels on this thing to actually dial this thing in the way it needs to be. For brakes and for steering, really. Let's adjust the steering first, right? All right, so you see the steering, let's turn the radio on. All right, then we turn on the receiver. Everything clear up. All right, so see how it's aiming off to the left a little bit, right? So we're looking down and aiming off the left. So let's go into the sub trim menu. All right, down up. Go to sub trim menu. I like this photographer end. This is a nice little something. So steering. All right, so you want to adjust to the right. You can see it starts straightening up. Right, 100. All right, let's try and lift this big boy up. See if it helps it. All right, yeah, there you go. Okay, so some trim. Man, we had to go all the way to the right, 100 points, all right? All right, so that's sub trim on there. Now we'll have to adjust the trim afterwards. So let's get out of here. All right, so that's the sub trim. Now, on the throttle, all right? Hit the throttle, moves the lever, all right? Notice, see that little lever right there that's moving? You want that to kind of pretty much touch that metal right there, and that's it. So right now I got a little more throw than I want on here. So let's adjust the endpoint for the throttle some. All right, so let's get out of here. Go over to the side, endpoints. All right, tap that. All right, so we want the throttle. Let's go down, throttle, forward. Let's turn it down to, let's say 80%. All right, let's see what we get now. All right, so let's hold the throttle, turn it down to 70%. See what that puts us. Turn it down some more. All right, so you see it starting to pull up, right? Right there, perfect. Full throttle, no bowing in the lever, none of that. Perfect. We're just touching the metal. We are at endpoint of 64. Right? Let's do brakes. Like I said, what I like to do is on my trucks, cars, whatever it is, I like to set it up so that it's just a little bit of drag when I go to hit the brakes. I don't like full lock, so everything's nice and smooth, pulling back and forth, no problem. So we're going to turn the end point for the brakes down, let's say to, let's turn that down to like 60. It's usually about where I'm somewhere in that area, so we'll do 65, start up there. All right, so as you're going, hit the brakes, it's locked, it's complete lock. I can't even pull this thing. It's still too much throw, really. So let's turn it down to 30, 35. All right, it's going. All right, still a little too much. Let's turn it down to 25. All right. So that's a lot better. All right, so let's turn it up to about 27. I think I'm gonna leave right there. It doesn't complete full lock, but it perfect. All right, so we'll do a little closer look on this thing. We've adjusted the brakes now. You know, we can fine tune it a little later with these knobs, but we've adjusted the brakes. We've adjusted the linkage for the throttle, right, with the lever on for the carburetor. Just got a air filter on here for now. We've adjusted the steering servo, the sub trim for the steering, and the endpoints for the steering, along with the endpoints for the throttle. We'll probably have to fine tune this a little bit more once we get it rolling. But that's it, man. I mean, I got to clean this up a little bit. Like I said, don't forget, 1 to turn, 2 to burn. So servo being on 1, 2 will be your throttle servo, 1 will be your steering servo. All right, and then you have your number 3 or auxiliary, however it is on your transmitter or receiver, will be for your kill start. And I got that on channel 3, and I'll show you that in a second. So channel 3, I've gave it this button right here. So we'll hit that. And we have a red beam saying no. That would kill the engine. All right, so we hit that again, and we're good to go. So that's it, guys, man. It really ain't much to doing this. It just takes a little bit of time. You know, it really ain't that difficult. I mean, hopefully I help somebody out and need to see some of this. You know, that's just another step in building these things. I mean, it's fun, man. Like I said. So we'll get this finished up, get this all buttoned up, and that'll be it for the linkage part of this, right? Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Hopefully my man CBR Wicks, you know, this is a good enough video for him. If anything else you need from me, you know what I mean, just holler at me in the comments, you know, like my man CBR did. If I didn't explain something or I missed something, you know, put it down in the comments. Hopefully this video helps somebody out there, and I'll see y'all on the next one, man. All right, man. This is your boy Crucial RC. I'll holler at you. Out.